So today we're speaking everything that's related to Rosemary Ndlovu. If you don't know who Rosemary Ndlovu is, she is a former former Tembisa policewoman, excuse me, and also a multiple murderer accused. And she's also being dubbed as a female serial killer, or rather as a serial killer, okay? And today she basically took the stand as a witness for the first time, but the only difference with today was that her legs were in shackles. So the reason why her legs were shackled is because she had previously tried to assault journalists that were in court, obviously, for trying to take her photos and whatnot. Okay, so before continuing with her testimony, she actually complained to the Judge Ramarumo Munama in the Gauteng High Court sitting at the Palm Ridge Magistrate Court about her Lego ankle shackles. And she said, "My ankles are in pain and these irons are too tight." Like the audacity, right? You're gonna like be accused of killing multiple people, and complain about your leg shackles or ankle shackles being too tight. Meanwhile, you murdered people. But anyways, okay. So after she complained to the judge basically then ordered police to loosen her shackles, and I guess she was in a more comfortable state to give her testimony. Okay, so basically last week Ndlovu attempted to attack photographers who were taking her pictures, including throwing food at them. She attempted to attack them, excuse me, twice, and she also threw food at them. So Ndlovu faces 6 counts of murder for allegedly ensuring her family members, then wiping them out with the help of hitmen, and later claiming from insurance companies. And like, for all the people that do not know that this is a thing, this is basically a thing. But like, wiping people out is not a thing, obviously. Like, to a normal person, you don't insure people and then you wipe them out. People usually insure their family members, obviously, just to ensure that they do help with the family the funeral, excuse me, arrangements in the cause of a death or an accident or anything death related, and then they get a payout. But the difference with Ndlovu is that she not only insured all of these people, but she went and wiped them out by hiring hitmen, to kill all of these people. And these people were her family members. It's not like she was doing this to strangers. She hired hitmen to wipe out her family members. Like, how cruel do you have to be to do that? Okay, so among the people she allegedly ordered hits on were her elderly mother, imagine, her partner Maurice Mabasa, 2 sisters, as well as her 5 nephews and nieces. Imagine, mother, partner, 2 sisters, and also 5 nephews and nieces. Like, she has to be obviously she is being accused, she's under trial, nobody knows if she's guilty or not guilty, but you have to be some sort of an animal to do all of the things that they are basically accusing her of doing. Obviously right now we don't know if she's guilty or not, which is why she's going to trial. But assuming that she is guilty, then she is fucked up. I'm so sorry, but she's messed up. She's seriously messed up in the head. Like, your mother, I can see, people do weird things to most of their family members, but your mother's supposed to be your most prized possession, the person that you hold dearly to your heart. So for you to insure your mother and also all your other family members, and then proceed to order hits on them, is just another level of cruelty. So, while her mother and one of her sisters escaped her alleged hits unscathed, Mabasa and 5 others were not so lucky. Okay, so during today's cross-examination by Williams, who's the prosecutor, Ndlovu continued evading questions and opted for explanation, a thing Munama warned her about last week. It was revealed that Ndlovu received about 119,840 after the death of her niece Zanele Motha, after taking 3 policies on her. With these insurance companies though, if you take out policies that are close to 120,000 on a single person and that person proceeds to die, I mean, isn't there some sort of investigation that should be done? Because that would be suspicious to me, right? So she took out 3 policies on her sister Uzanile Motha, and then she allegedly tried to wipe her out, or wiped her sister out. Okay, so Ndlovu also allegedly took out funeral insurance policies for Motha from January 2016 to May that year. The following month, in June, she allegedly invited Motha to her house for 2 weeks. A few days later, Motha was found lying on the side of the road. She had been so severely attacked that her injuries rendered her unable to speak. She died a few days later. So all of this is premeditated murder. She takes out these life insurance policies, and then she invites this person, her family member, over to her house. I'm so sorry to to refer to the deceased as this person. She then invites the deceased over to her house, to which, for 2 weeks, to which the deceased is then found, so badly beaten and bruised that she actually succumbs to her injuries, I'm assuming, in hospital a few days later. This is so premeditated and so evil. For you to invite somebody like a family member, we're not talking about a stranger. It would be bad if it was a stranger, yes, it would, but it's even worse that it's a family member. For you to invite your family member over to your house and then to, like, to premeditate and plan all of this so precisely and meticulously that you're able to plan out the sequence of events that are going to happen leading to this person's death, and then you're not even going to feel guilty about it. You're still going to claim for the life from the life insurance policy. It's just too much. It really is just too much. So, talking about events leading up to Motha's death, Ndlovu said, on the 15th of June, Motha complained that she was not feeling well. I could not return her to Tembisa Hospital because I thought she was taking her pain medication. I thought she would be healed because I also gave her some of my pain tablets. I don't know how she sustained rib fractures. I was not always with her. I would leave her alone. It is possible she could have attempted to use a bathroom and injured herself. She didn't tell me of any rib fractures. It is possible that at the hospital they could not see if she had fractured her ribs, Ndlovu claimed. However, Williams, who's a prosecutor, told Ndlovu, the fact remains Motha was released under your supervision. She was in your house until midnight of 15th of April, where you decided to take her to, I don't know how to say this name's hospital, but some hospital. There were also lacerations on her liver. Did you see her falling from the bathtub? Asked the prosecutor. To which Ndlovu said, I don't know how she got injured. I could see that she was in pain the way she complained about pains with a low voice. I needed to rush her to the hospital. I dragged her out and lifted her inside the car and drove her to the hospital, Ndlovu replied. Williams then asked Ndlovu why she took Motha to that specific hospital when Zamokuhle and Karstenhof hospitals were closer to where they were, to which Ndlovu replied, I was driving at night. I decided to take her to that hospital avoiding Karstenhof because I had to drive around Ivory Park Township before reaching Karstenhof. I chose ARWYP. This is the name of the hospital because I was used to it. If I didn't care about Motha, I would have left her to die in my house. I would not have bothered taking her to the hospital, she said. Like, obviously that does not prove anything. Like, if you're trying to prove or trying to basically create an alibi for yourself or a favorable circumstance for yourself, then obviously you're going to take this badly bruised person that's basically on the brink of death, hanging on to life by a thread, to the hospital to try and make yourself seem like the hero that you are. And then you're going to use this analogy or this situation that you've created to try and make yourself seem like you're not guilty when in fact you are guilty. You probably, planned taking her to the hospital anyways, She said Ndlovu only paid 60,000 rand for Motha's funeral costs, okay? So Ndlovu received close to 120,000 for the funeral, to which she only contributed half of that, which is 60,000. So she says there's money that was left after Motha's funeral. I had planned to use the balance later for other rituals, including erecting her tombstone. I was waiting for a directive from my elders on what to do with the balance, Ndlovu said. Asked if she ever thought of contributing towards the upbringing of Motha's children or putting the money in a trust fund, for their studies, Ndlovu claimed that they were living with their father. And then she says, my relationship with the father was not well. He failed to attempt to see her when she was in pain, Ndlovu said. Williams also said a doctor had thoroughly examined Motha and even conducted x-rays on her at Tembisa Hospital, and that injuries that led to her death were sustained while she was under Ndlovu's care. You are failing to open up to the court how Motha sustained those injuries, Williams told Ndlovu. So this is basically what the prosecutor, Williams is the prosecutor, said to Ndlovu. I don't know anything about her injuries, is what Ndlovu responded. All I know about the injuries is that she had bruises that were visible to me. I didn't know about other injuries. I didn't inflict any other injuries, said Ndlovu stated. And basically the trial is set to continue. Obviously everyone in South Africa is just like, closely following this trial. People are watching the trial. Those that can watch the trial are watching the trial. Obviously those that are reading articles like myself are reading the article. And it's just really sad to see that you can't trust anybody these days. You can't trust your spouse. You can't trust anybody that you think you can trust. You cannot fully trust that person. You can't even trust family these days. Like people that have share the same DNA as you, people that are your blood. You can't even trust your blood these days because you have people that are so driven by money that they would do anything. Like, what is 120,000 to a person's life? You only have one life, and you're just going to allegedly wipe that person out and try to wipe out numerous others over a measly 120,000. I know it's a lot of money, but it's not worth someone's life. It's literally not worth someone's life. And the mere fact that she had to suffer such a cruel death, because obviously she was obviously in pain, because she died due to these injuries. There were lacerations on her liver. She was fractured on some parts of her body. It's just such a cruel thing. I mean, I think in South Africa we are so, I don't even want to, I'm not even excusing it, but I don't know what type of person you have to be to kill someone like that for 120,000. I really don't know what type of person you have to be. And to have the audacity to go to court and throw food at journalists and try to attack journalists, it just speaks to the type of person that you are. It speaks to your character. If that is how you result to conflict resolution, then who's to say that you didn't beat up that person, or the deceased, excuse me, in a state of rage as you did with the journalist, because clearly she cannot control herself, right? So it's just sad to see that in life, you really can't trust anyone, and that's the sad part. For you to try and take out your partner, your two sisters, your sister's children, and your mother, you have to be some type of animal. And obviously, I'm not saying that this is what she did do, but this is what she is being accused of. So everything that I say is said under the assumption that she is guilty for all of these crimes that she is being accused of. And it's sad that you would go and you plan out this entire sequence of events just so you can get 120,000 rand. What about that person's goals? What about that person's life? What about that person's hopes? What about their ambitions? What about their potential? Their potential could have easily gone over 120,000, would have easily gone over 120,000. And for you to just try to take that from someone just so you can get a quick fix. And people that do these kind of things are never ever 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 lucky. You cannot take people to the grave. Literally take people to the grave. Hire people to kill people and think that you're going to get lucky in life. And I'm so 100% happy that the law has finally caught on to her, and I really do hope that justice will serve its course. But anyways, the trial is still continuing. Excuse me, I had a blank moment. The trial is still continuing. Tell me what you think in the comment section, and I will see you in my next upload. I'm so sorry this video was so long, but goodbye, lovelies.